Hello, and welcome to my first tutorial for my Modpack Legendary Dungeoneering. So, a lot of people have been asking me for my first tutorial to do a tutorial on lag, even though there is an NPC in the server spawn that tells you exactly what to do if there is lag. But I guess some people are too lazy to read. So I'm gonna go through a bunch of things and tell everyone who needs to know on how to reduce lag on this server and any other mod pack you're playing. But so let's get started. First thing you're gonna want to know about this mod pack is it takes a lot of RAM to run. If you're running, by default, Technic Launcher runs about 1 GB of RAM. If you're running 1 GB of RAM, you're not going to be able to play this mod pack because it is too big and takes up too much RAM. So what I would recommend doing is going to your Technic Launcher, going to mods, going to your launcher options, and then going to Java settings and changing your memory to at least 2 or 3 gigabytes. Now keep in mind, if you are on a laptop or computer that only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, you're probably not going to want to run any other processes besides Minecraft. Because if you do, your computer's going to use too much RAM and it's going to overwork itself, and Minecraft's just not going to work. So if you're running on a computer with lower than 4 gigabytes, with 4 gigabytes or lower, do not run any other programs with the mod pack because it's not going to work. So yes, if you have a good enough computer, change it to 2 or 3 gigabytes. If you're running on a 4 gigabyte computer, I recommend that you change it to 2.5 gigabytes. That should be an option for you. If it's not, you might want to update your Java. But if you can, you're going to want to change, if you're on a 4 gigabyte RAM processor, you're going to want to change it to 2.5 gigabytes of RAM. If you're on an 8 gigabyte RAM processor, like mine is, you can go up to at least 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is excellent. So this is for you people who get too much lag or don't have a good enough graphics card / RAM to run this mod pack properly. What you're going to want to do is, most likely you're going to want to go into your options, and you're going to want to go to video settings, and then you want to change all of these. I already have all mine preset, so you can just look at these, pause the video, look at these, see which ones you want, and change them all. So for all of these, yes, I'm going to go through them really quick. Graphics fast, smooth lighting off, fog off, blah blah blah, all this. You get the picture. Render distance tiny. I know a lot of people hate having render distance tiny, but because of the annoying fog, but because we have fog turned off, the fog is not going to be a problem, and it will make our game run even faster. So make sure you always turn off fog, turn render distance on tiny if your computer isn't good enough to handle any more view distance. Details. You can do all this here. You probably want to turn everything on fast or either off if you're not running. Remember, you can always experiment, so turn some of these things off, check out how fast your game is running. If it's still running too slow, change some more settings, But all of these are set, so you can just put these onto your game if you want to try to get some more speed, some frames on your game. Just pause the video and change your settings to these. And animations. If you're using the official texture pack for this mod pack, which is Conquest, you're probably going to want to turn terrain animated off and texture animated off if your computer isn't fast enough, because this texture pack has a lot of moving textures. Particles, you're going to put that on decreased if you're too slow, obviously. Quality, change all this. None of this really matters that much. Bitmap, bitmap type nearest, I have those set to off and nearest. Now keep in mind, this isn't for me. I can run with full render distance and everything because I have a good computer. I'm just showing this for you people who don't have a good computer and need help to get this mod pack running. So chunk loading, always keep this on default. It might say it'll run faster if you change it to smooth, but do not do that. Because this mod pack, with the psychedelic craft mod, if you put it on smooth or multi-core, your game will most likely crash sooner or later, and then you won't be able to get back on. So I would not recommend doing that. Performance, you don't really have to worry about any of this. None of it's really important. This is a really good thing that you want to do. Full screen mode. Full screen mode. Gonna want to change this to 720 x 576, or anything you want. Anything small that you want. Like, just change it to smaller and smaller if it doesn't work. Go smaller and smaller, and then turn full screen on. It's gonna make your resolution look really terrible, but it will increase your frame rate a lot. So I highly recommend doing that. So yes. Now that I've gone over all of that, there's always tutorials online that you can look up. If I've missed some things that can enhance your frame rate, you can always look up more things online. But that's for my brother's 4GB RAM crappy slow computer. It works fine if you change all the settings that I told you to. So yes, change RAM to 2 to 3 GB of RAM, change all your video settings down, and that's about it. That should clear up your lag if you're having any lag. If you're still having lag, your computer's probably not good enough to play on this mod pack, because this mod pack is very, very heavy, and it will do a lot of wear and tear on your computer if your computer's too slow to handle it. So if you have a too slow computer, I would not recommend playing this mod pack, because there are just so many amazing mods, complicated, awesome mods. Like, I don't even know the number. There are so many mods in this mod pack. It's all based around adventure and exploration. So if you can get it, if you can run it good, I recommend you definitely play it. If you can't, then I'm really sorry. I can't help you any more than I've already have. So if you want to know more on how to increase your frame rate, you can look up other tutorials. I'm not the only tutorial out there on how to increase frame rate on Minecraft, obviously. So I'm just giving you a run over of how I got my brother's crappy computer to run on this mod pack. So yes, if you're going to play this mod pack and you have a crappy computer, make sure you do everything that I said. And even for you people with really good computers, because I get this a lot, even for you people with really good computers, never run this mod pack on 1 GB of RAM. No matter how good of a computer you have, if you use 1 GB of RAM, your game is not going to function properly. Always use 2 to 3 GB of RAM. So that's all I gotta say. So that's the end of this tutorial 1 on how to increase frame rate for Legendary Dungeoneering, and I'll see you in the next video.